my screen?
Yeah.
So when we talk about the JavaScript world as of now, actually there are three frameworks which are actually trending in the market. So one is Puppeteer, the another one is Cypress, and the third one is WebDriverIO. So if you look at the downloads, actually, like most of the Cypress and Puppeteer actually having mostly 2 million downloads. Actually, almost 2 million users have already downloaded it. The WebDriver AI is a bit behind them, but still actually it's picking up in the market actually. And if you look at the number of issues also, like the Cypress and Puppeteer has got more GitHub issues logged actually, but they offer more functionality as well. But if you are looking on a stable framework actually, and if you are looking to do cross-browser testing, then WebDriver AI is a good one to go with. And if anyone has already worked on a protractor in the past, actually, like it's just an advanced framework of protractor. Nothing much actually. Most of the functionality is almost similar to protractor. So we'll just go through the WebDriver basic documentation before we start jumping on to the practical. So they have actually, so this particular framework has been developed in 2011, and this is like an open source project, and it has been developing since 2011. Now we are into the sixth version, and the stable version of WebDriver is 5 actually. And the main aspect when we compare it with like protractor is that it offers us to develop a UI automation for the latest JavaScript libraries like a React or a Vue or Polymer. And they offer some kind of support through a jitter channel as well. Suppose if you run into some issues, just go ahead and raise the issue in the jitter. And if they are free, they may log a new ticket and fix it. Uh, Am I
Sorry,
going?
sorry to interrupt. Is used only by JavaScript or Java?
JavaScript actually. This is a JavaScript based UI automation framework.
Okay.
Yeah. Uh, if we quickly go through the sidebar, actually you will see like a different use cases. Actually, it has inbuilt test runner, and there are some like a use cases which we can use from the Mocha framework as well, like organizing the test suits, retrying the flaky test and all. And it also offers us with a bunch of reporters as well. And I see Allure is the most useful one down here actually. Like suppose if you have any other use case, you do it. It also helps us to do some kind of connect to other services as well. Suppose if we have a particular use case where we need to run some testing in the cloud, actually we can make use of some something like Lambda test or a source labs or something. And the particular main developer for this framework, he himself is a senior developer in the so with source labs as of now. So we will quickly jump into the training. And just there are only two prerequisites actually. We just need to have Node.js installed in our machine, and we just need to have Visual Studio. So,
Yeah.
so why we need Node.js is that we just need to run the JavaScript outside of the browser. So that's why we need the Node.js. So this is the latest version of the Node.js which is being used actually, which is the 12. And this is being used by even the devs as well for developing their front end and the backend frameworks. So Node will help us to run the JavaScript code actually outside the browser. And next thing is that once we install the Node, we will install something called npm as well. So npm is like Node Packet Manager. So if you look at the version, I have 6 in my machine. So npm is like this will help us to manage our dependencies actually for the framework. And these concepts are mostly similar for any JavaScript based test automation framework. We just need to have a node installed in our machine. We just need to have a code editor. So in this case, I'm just using Visual Studio. Is everyone clear? Is there any doubts or something?
Yes.
Yeah. All good.
Yeah. So I'll start with creating a project actually. So if I put something called training. So I'm into the training folder. I just go there and open up the terminal. So I just use Ctrl J to open up the terminal. So once I create a new project, actually there is some Visual Studio based configuration that folder gets automatically created, and I have a PowerShell terminal in my machine now. So this is an empty project. I'm just starting to create the project. The first thing we need is the dependencies actually. So how do we manage the dependencies of the project actually? So that I will create one file actually. So I'll use some command called npm init. So this will actually create a file called package.json, and that's a file where we manage the dependencies.
Basically, is it like a POM?
Yeah, it's like a package.json is similar to the pom.xml we have in Java, or something like a yeah. So I put a package name. So these details are just some data entry things only, like you can change it later also. So I leave them blank as of now.
Jiten, just wondering, is it recorded? Can you just record the session as well?
Yeah, I'm recording it. Yeah.
Cool, thanks.
Cool.
Okay. I click yes. So there we go. We got a package package.json created in our machine. So this is just like a base configuration actually, and so whatever dependencies which we are going to install will come down here. So once you dig more into the JavaScript, actually you will start understanding more into the specific things in this package.json. And so now the next step is like we need to install our specific test automation framework. Till here, actually, all the JavaScript frameworks follow the same syntax. So now we are going to do something which is specific to WebDriverIO. The first thing I'm doing is like I'm installing the framework. So as I said, the stable version of WebDriverIO is version 5. But in this case, actually, it will download the latest version of WebDriverIO into my machine. So that will be version 6. So you can see like a folder called node modules has been generated in my machine as well. So this is where actually all the WebDriverIO related dependencies are being located. So if I open this folder, and you can see all the dependencies. And the next step is like we need the test runner as well. So in this case, actually, we do, as I shown in the documentation before, there is a specific test runner, inbuilt test runner for WDIO. So we just need to install it. Suppose if you run into some doubts, actually, just refer the documentation down there in the WebDriverIO page. I'm just going to install the test runner. So as you can see in here also, so you don't have to go through this node module folder every time actually. Once you install something, just make sure you have there in this dependencies actually. That's enough. And this is the latest versions. So if you want to install a specific version, you can put something like npm install WebDriverIO at 5.0.0 or something. So that's how if you want to install a specific Chrome version or something, you can do that also, if there are some specific requirements.
Understood.
Yeah. So now we have our dependencies created. I'm just working out with the minimal dependencies. This is similar to the pom.xml we have in Java. So we have all the dependencies created, and I'll go through this portion in a while. And next step is like if anyone is already worked on protractor, actually we have a config file. There is a same concept here as well. What I understood is like they might have enhanced the same code down here also, just to make it easy. So next step is like there is a particular file which is located inside the node module, which help us to create the configuration file. So I'll just show you that folder if it is bin. WDA. Yeah, this is the particular file which will generate the config file for us. So I'll just go to that folder. So I'm in the same directory. So that's why I put /node_module/.bin. /WDIO. This is the file and just say config. Okay. So now there is no specific configuration file existing. So it's asking whether I need to create one. I click yes. And the water which I'm showing down here, actually, you can change it later also. You don't need to worry about if you missed out something. I'm just trying to create a base configuration as of now. So the first question is whether where is our automation code located in my local machine? And these are the services which we use actually if you are actually going to cloud testing or a Lambda test or something like that. So as of now, I choose local machine. Next thing is like it actually offers an inbuilt support for Mocha or Jasmine or Cucumber. So if I select Jasmine, actually it almost offers the same support just like Protractor, and Cucumber also we can do, but as of now I'm using Mocha. I will come to that framework bit later once we write one simple test case. Actually, what are the Mocha options which we are using in this particular framework? And this is like how do we want to run the WebDriverIO commands? I'm selecting synchronous. I'm not going bit deep into this one. This is like a basic concept in JavaScript actually. And where are the test specs located? Specs in the sense where are the test cases located? So it has given us a pattern. So the test cases needs to be located inside test/spec/star.js. So that all the files which have that pattern will be considered as our test cases. And yeah, I am clicking yes. Yeah, this ones I don't need anything, so I'm just clicking enter and going through. Here, this option also, I'm not using any compiler. Suppose if you want to use a specific compiler, you can use it. And the reporting option. So this is like the reporter which I shown there in the portal as well earlier. So it offers a bunch of reporting options actually. So as of now, I'll go with the spec option. So if you want it later, we can install them also later. And in here actually, how do we want to run our test actually? So if you want to, so I'm selecting this Selenium standalone as of now. Because this offers us to run the test in both Chrome and Firefox actually. This is just like our grid actually in Java. So then the base URL, it started installing the packages which you already selected. If you have missed out something, we don't have to worry about it. It actually gives us the file. Just look into the file, install any extra dependencies which we require for our project. Yeah. So now if you come back and look at your package.json, we'll see like, okay, the Mocha has been installed, the Selenium standalone has been installed, the test runner we selected has been installed, the reporter which we selected has been installed. So it's pretty simple and straightforward actually. We just need to install the specific dependency. I think if you want to install something specific actually, something like a 5 or something, just give the particular version down here like this. Just make sure that that's the actual version, else it will throw a warning.
One question here, Chetan. If we, for example, that you have Mocha framework as 6.4.0, yeah. Now there is a new one as 6.4.1. If we just change that one and save, will it update itself?
No, no, it won't update actually. We need to install that because that particular dependencies are located in this particular node modules folder.
Okay.
So you need to have that dependency located in here actually.
Okay. That's the only way, as you showed, like. Yeah.
Yeah. So the same happens for Chrome driver also. Some cases, if you want to install a specific like a version or something of the Chrome actually. Suppose if your project, now the Chrome is 84, we want to run in 83, we need to install that particular version in here. We need to specify that through this particular command, which I shown last actually.
Yeah, got it. Understood. Yeah.
So this is the same for all the JS frameworks actually.
Okay. Yep.
And now the next thing, I'll just quickly go through that config file actually, because maybe someone new may not be, just so that we just get an idea actually. So the test runner I selected local. So we can use any other test runner also, like especially like a cloud-based testing, we use a specific test runner for the cloud. And specs is like where is our test cases located. So it has created a dummy test folder. Suppose if I open that one, so there is one test case in here.
Yep.
So suppose if you execute our test, actually the test case in this specific folder gets executed. And if there is any patterns to exclude, actually, suppose if there is a file like, okay, like a config, if I accidentally paste or something here, it will get excluded actually from that test file as well.
Yeah.
And capabilities now, so now actually, so as I said before, actually, WDA offers a cross-browser testing experience for us. So as per the default configuration, if our machine is supporting it, allows us to spin up 10 instances as a tab. The 10 means that 10, the total number is 10 means for all the browsers. So in here, there is another max instance for a particular browser, Chrome actually. That means we can spin up 5 Chrome instances simultaneously. So if I add something like a Firefox or something down here, I just need to put in, okay, how many max instances I need to spin up for the Firefox as well. But the total number of instances supported is only 10 actually, based on your RAM configuration of your machine as well. This will help us actually if you go into CI/CD pipelines actually, where if you select some machines with higher configuration, it gives us more speed as well. And next one is the log level. Actually, this is also similar to something in Java. I'm just changing that to warning. You can select till trace actually. So they have given proper documentation down here also. Which ones we need to select. Silent means it will not log anything. And trace is the maximum log level. And Bailey is something which is coming out from the Mocha framework actually. It says, okay, if more than 5 test cases gets fails actually, it will stop running the framework there, our test suite there itself. And like these are very easier things only. If you just go through this config file once, actually, you will understand it very easily. And this is the implicit wait which we have in the Java, the wait for timeout. Yeah, if you go down, you will see the hooks as well. This is like the global hooks actually. You can set it globally as well, like before test, after test, something like that. So if you want to like close the browser or clear the cache or something, you can do it here. They offer something like a refresh as well. So if the browser gets refreshed or reloaded, what hook we need to trigger. So this is like a simple config file. This is almost similar to Protractor. Like it has some advanced capabilities, but once you understood this config file, then that's it, more than enough for the JavaScript tests. Yeah. Now we just jump into how to run the test actually. So before using one specific command, actually, we need to configure how do we want to how to trigger that particular test actually. So let me open my config file. So, so this is like a script actually. So if I call something like a test actually, so what it will do, it will find out the WDIO config file actually. So, so if I start running a test actually, it will try to pick up the configuration which is there in this WDI config file, and it will start executing the spec files actually, which is there specified under this config file. That's what it does once I set up this particular script.
Yeah, understood. Yeah.
So now we'll just have a look into the test cases as well. So it's like this is like a test folder which got generated once I install the dependency. So this is like a simple test actually. So it opens up a specific page and then enters a username and password. Then goes to a detail page actually. So we'll quickly go through that particular page in my browser once.
Okay.
A dummy. That's it. I entered the username and password, navigated to a detail page. So this is our test case for today. And so we'll quickly go through this page objects as well. So this is where we define our locators and functions. So this is also similar to the OOPS concept in Java as well. This is the super class which we have actually, like a page actually. And these are like the subclasses actually. So the page is the main page which we are having. Suppose if there is any specific functions which are related to the main page or any locators, I will define them here. And suppose if I have any functions or locators which are specific to the like other pages, like a login page, I will define them here. So the locators I have defined them here and the getter methods, and these are like the functions actually. And I will just quickly show how do we access a locator as well. So if I go to this page and if I want to just quickly get this particular locator, so it has an ID actually. Mostly we will go with the CSS actually locators in here, but we can use XPaths as well. So if I quickly use this hash flash actually, so this is a locator which is there for this particular alert which is there in that page. And if I quickly go through this particular function, you will see like it's very simple actually. It uses a specific concept called dollar actually. Dollar means like the driver.find element by in Java. So we just need to use this dollar and just pass the locator.
Okay, basically you are just returning that one. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Suppose if you have find elements, then we just need to use $. Elements, like multiple elements if you want to return.
Okay.
Just $. It's very simple actually. You don't need to write a driver.find element by every time. That's me. And I'll just quickly show one more thing, the documentation as well. Yeah. Yeah. So it offers like some of the custom locators for the React as well. So if you are having a small React app or something, so we can actually quickly go ahead and find some of the React specific elements in the page as well. So we just need to use React $. And the same happens for the multiple elements also. Like if we have a use case like that, we can use this locator also. I just showed you, but the basic locator is still the $. And we can use an XPath also, CSS also down here. Okay. And yeah. So then we will start running the test.
One thing, like once those objects are declared in those login.page.js, so
Yeah.
once we have declared them, so we are returning them. So how you are calling them in the example?
Okay. So once I created the page objects, I just need to import them in here actually. So how I import them is like, okay, this how. So I'll
login page. Yeah.
So I put a function down here like module.export is equal to new login page actually. So once I go to the test, I can use this particular method. So if I put the exact path of that particular page, /page page of it automatically shows us in the editor / which one you want to import login page. So all the functions which I have written in that login page, I can access them here. The same to the secure page as well. So all the functions which I accessed written down in the secure page, I can access them in here as well.
Yeah.
The test. So only one here I'm just opening up the browser actually in the main page. That's why I didn't imported anything down here.
Yeah.
In the login page only I have two functions, like one is just the username input text box, then the password and the button actually, which is there in
Yes. Yeah.
in that page.
Yeah.
So something like this is the text box for username, password, and the login button.
Yeah.
And this is the function which gets called actually to enter the details.
Nice.
And in here, this is the particular getter method in the detail page actually, the alert which we have seen before.
Yeah.
This is like a simple test. So now, if we come back to this page actually, so it follows a specific syntax actually, describe and it actually. And I think most of the frameworks also follow the same, and it actually comes on the Mocha. So where actually we put it in a describe and it first. And describe simply means it's like a test suite actually. You can call it suite one, and this is like a test case. So maybe like a TC001.
Okay.
And one good option is that we can chain that test cases actually. Suppose we can go ahead and write as many blocks as we want actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, in here, what we are doing, so we are just calling up the particular URL, login page.open. So it will open up that particular login page actually with the path which we have provided down here. So this is like a parameter actually. So which I am passing down from here like a login, something like this one.
Yeah.
And then in the next step, actually, I will pass in the username and password, which will pass down to this particular function. It set the value into those fields, clicks on the submit button. Then it has an expect as well. This is like an assertions, like a JUnit assertions, which we have in Java also. It has an inbuilt expect assertion. So if you are actually like want a specific assertions or something, you can actually see something like this one. So if you go to the documentation, you can see like this is the expect assertion which we are using. So if you want specific assertion, actually you can go ahead with Chai or any other frameworks as well to make use of them. So I'm just checking whether this is existing there in the page, and I saw the text which is there after I log into that page actually, like that flashing which was there in the detail page. That's the two things which I'm checking down there. So now, as I said before, I already defined the test down here. I need to trigger this config file and run the test case there in this particular spec. So how I run it? npm run test.
Cool. So it closed the browser also, yeah? Did you have that one also?
No, actually it automatically closes that browser. So after executing the test, actually, once the test cases are complete, it automatically closes it. We can quit it before also in the after test hook as well.
Okay.
But once it completes the last it blocks, actually it automatically exits that particular browser section.
Yep. Now, one more question is, this one was one test. If we have 2, 3 tests and we want to run only one.
Yeah. That one also is possible. So that's the next thing which I'm showing.
Oh yeah, please go on.
Before we do that, we'll just have a look at the logs actually. Suppose if there is some errors, actually I can increase that particular log level, which is there in this particular config file, to trace, just to debug that particular test actually if you miss out something. And it shows like, okay, 0-0. So we can, this means like 0 means this is the particular Chrome session, and this is the first session of the Chrome. So if I run 2 tests actually, so it will show like 0-1, then 3 sessions it will like 0-2 actually. And if you have another browser, it will show like 1-0, 1-1, 1-1, 1-2, something like that. So that's the pattern it follows. And the reporter which you used, which we installed was spec1. So that's why it gives us a spec related output. And we can make use of other reporters actually if you want some advanced like reporting options. Yeah, and as Jagan was asking, suppose if you have more than one test cases actually, how do we execute them? So I will quickly go down here. I will comment out. So what I have done, I splitted that test case actually into 2. So I'll open up the browser in the first session, and I will log into that page in the second session. So what I'm doing, suppose if you came across some scenario where there is a defect in this particular test case, or there is some other dependency like the developers haven't completed building, or we just have the UI but there is no functionality. Still we have written the test case. We can try to do something like a skip actually. So this means it will skip this particular test case and move on to the next test case actually. It will only execute this test case as of now. You can see that in the browser, like that second test case didn't got executed. It got skipped actually. And suppose if I want to run only this test case, suppose if I got around 16 test cases in this particular test file, and if I want to execute only this particular test case, I put only like the dot only, because there is one specific scenario where I have only it only navigates to that page. The other functionality is not built yet, or they are not stable. Then if I run this one, it will only execute that first test case, and it will not execute any other ones.
Yep.
Yeah, if you see, it only executed that specific test case. And one another use case which we have in our project is like, suppose if you want to run different test suites actually, like a smoke or a sanity regression and all. So it also provides the same option, just like it also, the WDO has also those options as well. So under the spec actually, if you provide a specific suite name, then it will start executing those suites. Like we can call this particular suite as well. So what I'm doing, I'll copy this particular test case down again. I'll change it to suite 2. So now we have something like a smoke suite or a sanity suite or something. And I just want to execute one test suite actually as of now. So what I'll do, I'll just call that particular suite called login. And if I run npm run test, it will run all the suite actually. We'll see like 2 browsers pinging up and executing both the test cases, like both the test suites.
That's nice.
Yeah. So this is about the whole framework. And just Mostly this one, I do see like it's more stable than the other frameworks actually, and it got lesser number of issues which we need to tackle, and it actually offers us some kind of integration with Puppeteer as well in the latest version, which is the 6th one. But I do see like one issue in this one. There is a function called move to, which you can see in the documentation. What it does is it actually moves to a specific element in the page. It actually moves our cursor to a specific element in the page actually, and this method I don't see it working quite well in my test cases. So other than that, everything else seems to be fine. Other normal things which we have in this particular framework, it seems to be fine to me. Yeah, but it doesn't have some advanced capabilities, just like a Cypress and Puppeteer. But it is something good to actually have a look into it if you already know Selenium Java and you want to just get into JavaScript world. And if you are having a small web application and if you want to quickly set up a test UI automation framework, this is a very good framework.
Nice. Yeah. Do we do data driven testing with this one? Like, can we get data from a notepad or?
Again, yes, again, we need to use some other libraries to read that Excel, just like in Java. We can do that also.
Yeah.
But it offers minimal functionality, but we need to import some other JS library to actually interact with that Excel and do it.
Yeah. Fantastic. Yeah.
And the major thing is it offers actually cross-browser testing, which even other frameworks are also telling they are offering, but it's not stable. But there are less issues with regard to other browsers I see in this framework. It offers integration with Appium. It also offers React-specific locators and a lesser number of issues in the GitHub. That's another thing which I came across. But it have less amount of mocking or stubbing capabilities, and it doesn't offer us to control the open up any specific DevTools protocols or something. And that's where mostly the Cypress and Puppeteer is picking up in the market, where they can actually verify some of the DevTools requests, performance scores and all in the DevTools.
But this tool is very good actually. It's very simple.
It's very simple actually. So someone who has actually worked in Protractor before, he will. It's very simple actually. Nothing complicated actually. Anyone can actually do it. Like it's almost took 30-40 minutes only for us.
Even with workplaces, like when we join them, like they have that eager, like, okay, we hired this automation tester. I want something to be quickly produced. So this is a very good tool. You can just go into it and.
Because when when you choose Cypress or Puppeteer also, that's good actually. Suppose if you have an enterprise level apps or something where we have multiple functionality, then like we need to use some other libraries down here, or we need to go to the latest version. But if you want to create a simple UI automation test framework with JavaScript, this is a preferred one.
Nice, very good actually. Okay. So any questions, guys? Kapil, you have any question? Gary, anybody?
No questions so far.
Yep. It was a very nice explanation, I could say. So that's very good, and the tool is also very easy to learn. That's what I found. Okay then. Thanks, Ips, for this session. And if you guys don't have any questions, then we can stop at this point.
Yeah, thank you very much, Kapil. That's good.
Okay then. Thanks, guys. Talk to you guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
Yeah.